but they were so bouncy. I felt like a kid in a candy store. They were fun, they were naughty.
Hi guys, just ticked over 11k in this Sunday long run, aiming to do 30k today, and that will get me to 160k or 100 mile in these shoes, the new Balance Fuelcell Rebel V2s. So in this video I'm going to give you my full impressions of these shoes, and yes guys, I've got some new earbuds, so full review on those coming in a video real soon. So I've done a full range in these shoes, right from a recovery run through to today's long run. I've done some speed sessions, I've done some pace at a park run, and just normal runs as well, so full gamut, and should be able to give a good review.
Now, this review is not meant to be a critique of the Rebel V2s. There's heaps of those reviews here on YouTube from people and runners far more knowledgeable than me about shoe specifications. Instead, with this review, I'm going to give you my personal feelings on how this shoe has performed over the first 100 miles or 160k. If you want all that geeky stuff about the shoe specification, then I'll put it up here on screen for you to gaze at for a few seconds before I dive into my review. Now, a lot of runners are calling this the shoe of 2021. I must admit I was taken by all the hype when I bought these shoes. The reviews sounded too good to be true. Could this shoe be as good as everyone was making it out to be? Now, I've given this shoe a really good test. Like I set out in that long run, I've covered everything from easy recovery days right up to that 30k long run. There have been speed sessions, tempo runs, and a little dig for a few kilometres at a recent park run. So I think I have a pretty good feel for this shoe now. And before I dive into my full review of the Rebels, first I want to just take you back a little way on my journey with New Balance. Now, my past experience with this brand of shoe has been less than, let's say, perfect. My first introduction with New Balance was I had a pair of 1500 V2s many years ago, which destroyed my feet in a marathon. Maybe they weren't the shoes for me, but hey, I did get my first sub 3 hour marathon in them. My next venture into the New Balance was the 1080s, the version 10. And with this shoe, it was a love-hate relationship. I enjoyed the feel of them. They were great to run in, except for one thing. They caused me pain on the outside of my, I think it was my left foot, just along here. Every run, no matter what distance. And it was really disappointing because I could only get these shoes to 280k, about 170 miles. And I just had to give up. It just kept hurting my feet that much that I just threw them in the bottom drawer and forgot about them. But I didn't want to give up on New Balance. So I went back to New Balance and I tried another pair, and they redeemed themselves with the Beacon version 3. I enjoyed this shoe from the very first run. No issues whatsoever, nothing like the 1080s. I had so much fun in these shoes that I bought a second pair before I'd even reached 50 kilometres. That's 30 miles, guys. So this brings me to the Rebels, the version 2s. Like I said, I fell for the hype. Bought the shoes, even the colour. What do you call it? Orange, orangey yellow, golden. Didn't bother me. I'll actually put the correct name of the colour here on screen. Now, the first thing I noticed when I got these shoes was the weight. I couldn't believe how light they were. I don't think I've ever owned a pair of shoes that were this light. Then that midsole, the fuel cell foam, my God, how soft is that? I couldn't believe it when I dug my thumb in It just kept going and going and going. And even after 160k, 100 miles, guys, there's still plenty of give in that fuel cell foam in the midsole. The first run was meant to be just a nice, easy, gentle 5k, just to sort of try them out, get a bit of a feel for them. But they were so bouncy, I felt like a kid in a candy store. They were fun, they were naughty, they just wanted to go faster than I wanted. And when I looked down at the Garmin on that run, I was surprised at the pace and how easy I felt running. I pretty much knew straight away I was really going to enjoy running in these shoes. Now, fast forward just 8 weeks, I'm already at 160k or that 100 miles. And I have to say, I have to force myself not to reach for these shoes on every single run. Easy days, tempo runs, intervals, recovery, long runs, whatever it is on the schedule, this shoe can do it. And really, that came as a bit of a surprise to me because I was certain the spongy, soft midsole would not accommodate those faster sessions. But I couldn't have been more wrong. The midsole of this shoe is where it really shines. For me, it's the right balance of softness and responsiveness, as well as being flexible. Make no mistake about this. This is a neutral runner. Have a look at this flexibility. Look at it. It's that spongy and softness which makes this shoe a real joy on recovery runs. It's just so kind on the legs. But when you want to open the throttle a little, this shoe comes to life and offers a really poppy ride. You would think with so much sponginess, is that even a word? Anyway, that it wouldn't give you the pop or the kickback at pace, but it does and more. I find that it can handle paces around the 4 minutes per kilometre average for me quite easily, and I guess for a faster runner, they would have no problems getting this shoe to perform even quicker. And then in the long run, it just looks after the legs with a nice, comfortable ride. My 30 kilometre long run in them left the legs feeling great afterwards. On what was my longest run of 2021, I may have struggled towards the end of that run, but the legs still felt great afterwards. Now, a bit of disclosure here, I am filming this review a week after that long run. Now today, I did a similar long run in the Asics Nova Blasts. These ones. Same route, just a mile further, so I got to 32 kilometres. And I have to say, my legs felt a bit worse for wear after today's long run. Now, could be a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, the Rebel is just a more comfortable ride. And secondly, I did a solid 9k tempo in the Rebels yesterday, and maybe there was just still a little bit of that in the legs. But I have to admit, these Nova Blasts, my second pair, I have found them to be a much harder ride than my first pair, the Tokyo edition. You know, those bright orange coloured ones? The Tokyo edition felt way softer through the midsole, but I have not experienced, it's a little bit more effort to push in. So I haven't experienced the same softer feel through the midsole with these black pair. Now I took the Tokyos to 1,000 kilometres and there's still more to come. I've now passed them on to my son who has just started to do some running, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't get another 200, maybe even 300 kilometres in them. Unfortunately, I doubt with these black ones I'm going to get anywhere near that distance. Sorry, wandered off the Rebel review there a little bit, so let's get back to the Rebels. And that soft ride and looking after the legs on the long run makes the fuel cell foam through the midsole a real winner for me. My only concern with this shoe is the outsole. It's already starting to show some wear. If you have a, hope you can see just through here, showing some wear. Now New Balance have said that the endurance rubber outsole technology is supposed to provide superior durability in high wear areas to help get more out of the shoes. Guys, I'm not sold on that. To be honest though, it doesn't really worry me. However long that these shoes do last on that outsole, I'm going to have some bloody fun running in them. There's also another issue I had with the outsole, and this was really my fault, was, I don't know if you remember, a couple of months ago down there on my dad's farm, I did a speed session in these shoes. on a dirt road. It was raining, it was wet, and it was slippery underfoot. The traction in these shoes on that sort of terrain was less than ideal. I was slipping and sliding all over the place. But I've encountered no such problems on wet roads or footpaths. On that particular day, I just got the shoe choice wrong. Now this upper is another win for me. Straight out of the box, I could see these were going to be comfortable, they were going to be breathable. The engineered mesh upper just really works for me. You can actually almost see my fingers through there when I'm doing that. Now some runners have had concerns about the lockdown in this shoe with the lacing setup and the non-guzzeted tongue not to their liking. I'm on the other side of the court. I really like the basic lacing format. It locks down really well on my foot. Some people have said that the tongue slides away from the center of the foot during a run. I haven't encountered this whatsoever. Now I wouldn't mind betting that maybe in the next version of the Rebels, the V3s, New Balance may introduce a guzzeted tongue. Won't worry me, but I guess with this sort of tongue, they've just been really mindful of trying to keep the weight down. Now I've had no issues with slippage in the heel or my foot moving around inside the shoe, and the heel counter has just the right amount of cushioning for me. Now this shoe isn't going to suit everyone, but my foot loves it. There are so many good things about this shoe that just makes it fun to run in. Like I said, you feel a little bit naughty when you run in this shoe. You want to get up and you want to go, and that's all right on those days when you want to let your hair down a bit, but a little bit more difficult when you just want to plod along on a recovery day. It's like there's two voices in your head, you know, the devil on one side and the angel on the other. One wants you to really cut loose and just go for it. The other one's telling you to, come on, save your pennies for another day. So how am I going to use this shoe going forward? This is such a good daily trainer, and I think it probably would appeal to nearly all types of runners. I could go to it every day if I wanted to, but I do like to rotate my shoes. I'm happy to take this out on anything from a recovery day right up to a long run. And this could even be a marathon shoe. And I reckon for some, it could even be a race shoe if you didn't want to fork out the big bucks for a carbon plated racing shoe. But again, it's a personal choice. And like I've said all along with shoes here on the channel, guys, what works for me may not work for you. Get down to your local running store and try it on your foot and just see if it works. So there you go, the New Balance Fuelcell Rebel version 2s. The only thing left to do is give this shoe a rating out of 5 stars. I'm tempted to give it 5, but it's easily 4.5 stars from me. My favourite shoe so far for 2021. Let me know in the comments if you have a pair of the Rebels and what you think of them. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, share and comment on this video. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. All right, happy running and see you next time. Hooroo.